Hey, it's Heidi from Lively Hope. Welcome back to Making Stuff in the Mountains. This is my artist vlog, generally about a monthly update with the various projects I've been working on. I am a textile artist and embroidery artist and designer based in northern Utah. And every month I like to share with you what I've been working on. I tend to have a lot of ideas and my hands in lots of different projects at all times. So this month I'll be sharing some slow stitching, some art pieces I've prepared for markets, some knitting. What else have I got? New embroidery kits and patterns that will be available by the time this is live. And I think that's about it. So we'll get started. Please excuse my voice. I have been sick for weeks. Our whole family has just had this lingering sickness, which is not fun, in case you were wondering. But I have been preparing for some upcoming Valentine's Day markets, and so I thought I would show you some of the things that I've been making. First up, I have the new embroidery kit and stick and stitch pattern. They're kind of related because they're both snowflakes. So this is the new kit. I'm calling it the snowflake grid for obvious reasons. This is super fun. I'm hoping that you can see that this is a metallic white thread. It's really beautiful. It looks so nice in the sunlight. And this was a really fun project to stitch. I'm a big fan lately of all one color, like red work or black work. I'm really liking the effect, kind of the modern look of all one color. So this is available. I will put the link in the description box. This is Snowflake Grid. It is sized to fit a 10 by 10 inch hoop, and I have it available as a kit and a pattern. So if you want to do a different size, maybe by the pattern, because then you can change the size when you print out the instructions. So that's that. And then I also have a set. One moment. Okay. I have a stick and stitch set that is really similar. A lot of different snowflakes. They are sized to fit either 2 or 3 inch hoops. And so the idea is that you cut these out and then place them on what you want to do. If you want to do an ornament or clothing or like a cloth napkin or whatever, these are designed to be cut apart and used separately. Whereas if you want the whole thing together to just hang somewhere, that's the kit for that. Okay, that's business aside. Now, what should I start with? Maybe knitting. So knitting for me is just for fun. That's gonna bug me. Okay. Knitting is just for fun. It's what I work on maybe in the evenings when we're watching a show together, or often as a way to kind of decompress while I listen to an audiobook. I really like to have my hands busy. So I almost always have a knitting project on the go, or several. So my long-term project right now lives by the side of our bed, because every morning my husband is up and out very early. I also get up early, but I like to take a little while to read. And while I'm reading, I work on knitting projects, just super mindless projects. So I can read with my eyeballs and knit with my hands, and it helps me focus a little bit better on the reading. So you have probably seen this. in the past. This is my scrap blanket. It's getting quite large now. I'm gonna make sure I don't pull it off because I do have working needles in here. My goal, maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend, is to go back through and weave in some of the ends. I like to do that all at once because I think it's fun to save up a bunch and then stitch a bunch in at the same time. I know that stresses people out, but it's fine with me. So there's that. I'm really happy with how big it's getting. I'm not sure how I'll know when it's done. Maybe when I run out of scraps, I guess. So this basket sits next to the bed, and all of my scrap yarn is down in the bottom. So I also have a Musselburgh hat in the works for my husband. That's what this is right here. I'm using Gauge Dye Works solar system. This is just the one-way trip, and this is so fun because the color changes are so seemingly random. You know, they are mathematically to scale with the size of the solar system, which is just the nerdiest, most fun thing. And you know, we're big science nerds at our house, so that is really fun. So that's how far I am with that. It's a double thick hat, so I still have quite a ways to go on this. And I'm looking forward to, if I have any leftover of the gray side of this, when I'm done with it, I'm going to use it with the scraps of another Gauge Dye Works yarn that I used to make my Musselburgh hat, which I've showed you before, but I'll grab it really fast. Okay, so here's mine. This is what this one for my husband will eventually look like. It's double thick, and this was the scrap left over from this project. I love this hat so very much. I wear it every day on our walk. It's currently winter and very cold here, so I really love this. And my husband is looking forward to having his own. I'm crossing my fingers I can finish it for Valentine's Day, but not sure how realistic that is. All right, let's do a few things that I have been working on for markets. I have done a few slow stitching because it's Valentine's Day. I have this set of, I've got 16 in this series that are all slow stitched hearts that were very, very enjoyable to make. I made kind of a collage with a bunch of scrap fabric and then cut the hearts out of them and just added details of different kinds of thread on top. I've been using metallic thread a lot lately and just love how those turned out. So these will be at a market that starts next week. That's been really fun. Okay, so that's that. Another thing I also made were these magnets. It's not as fun. I will show you a video that I took before I put them in the plastic. But these are felted. So I made the felt that's the background, and then I needle felted the hearts on them. And the idea is, because they come in packages of 2, that you can give one to a loved one, and then you both, it's like a best friend necklace or whatever. You both have a magnet. So I have several, I think about 20 sets of these, that if you are in the northern Utah area, will be at the Utah Art Market the beginning of February, first 2 weeks of February. So that's a few of those. I have also really been loving, I'll do these felt ones next. Kind of my signature aspen trees. I have a new series of these. So these are needle felted, wet felted, and embroidered. I've got a few of those done. And ready for the market. I will be putting anything that's left in my shop, which I will include a link to below. So that's that. And then the other thing I've been obsessing over a little bit lately is collage fabric landscapes. This is just an idea I had and decided to just see what happened, which is how a lot of my artwork works. So I had an afternoon set aside recently where I decided to paint a bunch of fabric. I used textile medium mixed with acrylic paint. And then I also just mixed my own colors based on what I wanted to make. And then I cut up that fabric and stitched it together to make these textile pieces. And I feel like blue always really struggles to come through on camera, but here are a few of them. I really, really love these. One of these, this is fun. You can see I left some fringe to be some grass right here. That was really fun to do. So I dyed this linen for the sky and then painted all of these and then cut them apart to make landscapes. And because it's winter here, I've got a few winter ones as well. I think my favorite is this big one. Ooh, that's hard to see, but I'm just loving the layers and textures of this, and I'm excited to see how those do. So those are those. I have a few things that are not quite finished yet that I am in the process of working on that I will show you now. So I have some felt birds. These will eventually be framed. In here. Oops. Spare thread. That's strange. So these will go in here eventually. It's a nice metal frame. I have just been really loving some birds lately. These are lovebirds. They still need some stitching on them and some eyes, bead eyes and things. So I will make sure to film those when they're finished. This has been kind of my slow and steady piece lately. So this is felted. These are scraps from other projects, the green. And then I stitch. This is copper thread in there. And then I also stitch the detail in here. So this one's in progress. It's not finished yet. I'm hoping to finish it in the next few days and then frame it as well. And I have some mountain pieces, kind of a wintry feel. These are felted and then embroidered. Here's another one. My needle's just stuck in there because I'm not done yet. I'm loving the colors of these. It feels very wintry to me. Okay, and then the final thing is I've been doing some block printing on fabric and then stitching over the top of the block printing. So here's an example. These are still in progress as well. So the heart is the block print that I carved, and then I'm stitching over the flowers. I think I might maybe add some beads to the center, and then also make sure that there's green in there for the leaves. So here's some more that I haven't started stitching on yet. This is a block I carved a while ago. And honestly, I'm trying to decide if I just leave this and just put that in the mat without any embroidered detail on it, because I really do like how that looks. Or do I have one that I've been working on? Or I add, I don't know if you can see, so the little feathers right here, that's got some embroidered detail on it. It's just something I'm kind of messing around with, just playing with. And a process I'm really interested in right now and trying to kind of figure out what I want that to be. So I have a stack of these that I printed the other day. More aspens, as always. Got lovebirds in green, aspens in black and white. So I do think I will probably end up sticking these in a mat just without any detail, some of them for the market, and then having some that do have some detail embroidered on them. Okay. I like this green one. It's got a little bit of variation. I mixed in a little bit of yellow. So that is what I am working on right now. It's a lot. It's always a lot. I lied. I have one more thing. This one is kind of on the back burner for right now, though it's an idea I'm very interested in. And I have some ideas for a project I want to film coming up that relate to this. But I've been learning about sashiko, which is kind of the original slow stitch, if you are a slow stitcher. And I just started this with a bunch of scraps. Sometimes when I make kits, just a little bit is left, and I had this whole bin full of long, thin scraps of linen and muslin. And so just on a whim, I started just stitching them onto this big piece of felt, which will be the backing. Not the backing, the like batting. So I'm not sure what this is going to be. I might embroider something over the top. It might just be, I don't know. So I'm going to continue adding stitches, and eventually all of these raw edges will be sewn down. And okay, so eventually all the raw edges will be stuck down, and it will be just covered in stitches everywhere. I have some ideas that this might be the background of a piece that I'm going to submit for a textile art show. But I will share more about that in the future. So lots of things going on, and lots of new ideas, which have been really fun to work through and think through and just develop. It's one of my favorite parts of this crazy job that I've created for myself, that I get to have an idea and see what I can do with it. So that's really fun. And I think that's all I have right now. So thank you for joining me for this month's episode of Making Stuff in the Mountains. I will be sure to add this to the playlist. There are several other episodes, and it is my goal this year to be more regular about having them every month. So hopefully that also happens. And I am just really glad that you're here. Thank you, and happy making things. First of all is our new First of all, I have our, why do I say our? It's not us, it's just me. I'm the only one here.